So Ravens flock, even though it's way too early to get into predictions and trying to figure out how things are going to shake out, many people are saying that they believe the Ravens have the highest chance of winning the AFC North division in 2025, which that would mean we would win it 3 years in a row. I'm not sure if we've ever done that. I know that's definitely something we haven't done in like the past decade, but I'm not even sure if we've ever done that since they did the realignment and created the AFC North. But either way, when you look at some of the things going wrong with our rivals, I understand why people feel as though the Ravens have the absolute best chance of winning this division. Right now, I'm sure you all have seen it. The Cincinnati Bengals are in a very odd situation with their newly drafted edge rusher, Shemar Stewart. They drafted him 17th overall. And most rookies, you don't even really hear about their contracts. It's never really news because at this point, rookie deals are pretty standard. It goes how it goes. People sign it and move on. Some sign it quicker than others. Shamar's not the only rookie left who hasn't signed his deal. There's a couple of notable rookies who reportedly haven't signed their deals yet. Guys like Travis Hunter and a few other people. But Shamar's situation is clearly the most I don't know. I don't know if you should call it messy or disastrous, or it's clearly the biggest controversy going on right now amongst any rookie. So basically, the Bengals are trying to essentially set a new precedent where they want to put in a detail in Shamar's deal where they can essentially make it easier to back out of dealing with him altogether, to where they could basically cut him. It's easier to cut him essentially because they want an option where they could where a couple of defaults can be triggered that would allow them to not have to pay you the guaranteed money that you're supposed to get on your rookie deal. And Shamar, understandably so, he doesn't want to sign that because that's not the current standard. Really, no rookies are signing those type of deals, especially first round rookies. You look at the Bengals' previous first round rookies over the past 2 years, at least, with Miles Murphy and Amarius Mims, they did not have to deal with this. And he naturally feels like he's being used as like a essentially just like a guinea pig for them to see if they could get away with this. And now they're in a weird tug of war where he's at a point now where he's basically letting it be known he's willing to not even join the team. He left mandatory minicamp. He's at a point now with their speculation that he may just choose to sit the year out and go into the 2026 NFL draft, which is the only real leverage he has right now. Like in theory, like if he wanted to play this year, he would have to try to play ball with the Bengals, but at the same time, the biggest trump card that he has available to himself is the fact that he does have the option of just choosing to wait it out a year, then go into the 2026 draft, and that would put the Bengals in a spot where they would technically lose 2 first round draft picks because obviously he wouldn't be coming back, but then also they would lose their 2026 first round draft pick. I don't know why Cincinnati is so gun ho on trying to not pay him. Maybe, especially because most rookie contracts are not that expensive compared to what superstars are getting paid. But maybe it's because they're a little concerned about him not having serious production in college. He only had about 1.5 sacks for like multiple years in a row coming out of college. But even then, that's still not a good excuse. If you're not willing to pay him, it doesn't even make sense to draft him. If you have questions that make you that hesitant to even want to pay him a relatively cheap rookie deal, I don't even see why you would bother drafting him in the first round in the first place. He also basically clowned the Bengals by saying that they're trying so hard to try to force the issue, basically saying they want to win an argument more than they want to win games. And I do agree with that. And to be fair, that's not just a Bengals thing. A lot of NFL teams, they they have the people running them have a lot of pride. Just like at any regular job, there's gonna be people who have a lot of pride. It's gonna be 10 times worse here because you're talking about people who are running billion-dollar corporations, we can only imagine how big their egos are. The Bengals are already a cheap team. They're in the midst of a contract dispute with Trey Hendrickson, who is their only good player, their only elite player on defense. They don't want to pay him, even though they could make it work. They just, I don't know, maybe they're not interested in paying somebody above the age of 30 that type of money. But again, he's been consistent on your team, and he's your only threat on that defensive line as of right now. And he's at a point, he's requested trades for like 2 years in a row. And now the guy that you drafted to essentially be the bargaining chip against Trey Hendrickson to say, hey, we don't have to pay you, we drafted your replacement, you've already alienated the replacement. Like, it's a very weird, ugly situation. As a Ravens fan, I'm kind of laughing at it. I kind of, on a human level, I kind of feel bad for what's the dude's name, Shemar Stewart. I kind of feel bad for him because it seems like he's being put through unnecessary drama because the team themselves, they're just extremely cheap and extremely stubborn, and it looks like he may be a casualty of this unnecessary war that's going on. But either way, with stuff like this happening, I don't think the Bengals are going to be a serious threat to the Ravens. They're still going to be a team we have to have some respect for, and we can't take lightly, of course, because they have so much power on offense with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And that's not including if anybody else on the team, like Jermaine Burton or one of those other guys, steps up and becomes an even better player. But with this much turmoil on their defense, I can't imagine they're gonna have a season much better than last year, because as we all saw last year, they still were struggling to make something happen in the AFC North, because on top of getting off to slow starts, they don't have a defense that can stop people. We also had that same problem, but to the credit of Zach Orr, things started to figure itself out towards the end of the year. But in their case, I don't think anything's gonna figure itself out. It's looking like a complete disaster. Even if Shamar stays, I'm sure he's gonna be counting down the days until he can get out of this team. But that's just where I'm coming from as a Ravens fan on the outside looking in. I'm sure if you're on this channel, you're also a Ravens fan from the outside looking in. So let me know, from the outside looking in, what do you think of this situation? Do you think that the Bengals are screwed and he's gonna just sit the whole season out, or do you think that there's a chance that they could actually work it out? And do you think the Bengals are a joke at this point?